Let's now shift focus to the West African nation of Mali, where the United States has cautioned Americans, citing safety concerns amid an Al-Qaeda-led fuel blockade. The US Embassy in Mali has urged its citizens to leave the country immediately, as the terror group's blockade poses an increasing threat to daily life in the military-led country. The US authorities urged Americans to depart immediately using commercial aviation due to the unpredictable security situation in Bamako. It cited continued gasoline and diesel supply disruptions and the closure of public institutions such as schools and universities within Mali. The US also cautioned people against taking land routes to neighbouring countries due to terrorist attacks and referred to the international airport in Bamako as a travel option. The US underscored the ongoing armed conflict between the Malian government and terrorists. On October the 24th, the US State Department also authorised non-emergency personnel and the families of government employees to leave the country. The Trump administration had already issued a travel advisory for Mali. Concerns over the safety of Americans followed a fuel blockade in Mali imposed by Al-Qaeda-linked terrorists since September. There have been multiple incidents of fuel trucks being torched, with drivers and soldiers being killed or kidnapped. The JNIM rebels seek to isolate the capital. They have been targeting fuel tankers inbound from Senegal and the Ivory Coast. These are the nations through which Mali transits the majority of its imported goods. Despite military efforts and soldiers escorting fuel tankers, Mali's junta leadership has failed to break the blockade. And amid the deepening fuel shortage, Mali suspended school and university classes for 2 weeks on October the 27th. The country's military ruler, Assimi Goïta, also fired 3 senior commanders in the armed forces earlier this month. According to reports, the action followed failures in the battlefield against insurgents. Mali has been battling a security crisis for more than a decade. The crises are fueled by groups affiliated with Al-Qaeda, the Islamic State, as well as criminal and other gangs. The military junta, which came to power after subsequent coups in 2020 and 2021, has been struggling to counter the armed groups. Now, as a fuel blockade threatens to cripple the Malian economy, the country has turned to Russia for help. The Russian fighters are already battling insurgents in the West African nation. Now, Russia has said that it would deliver petroleum and agricultural products to the country. However, it did not specify the details. But would the Russian supplies be enough to pull Mali out of the fuel blockade crisis? That remains to be seen.
Want the facts?
The latest developments?
News that gets straight to the point.
Well, we've got all 3 just for you. This is Firstpost Live, a brand new show, your window into what really matters.
Don't miss it.